So here we are, future England international. If he hits the crossbar, Roy Hodgson will say that he will join the England team for the 2016 European Championships. I done it! The delirium! Yeah!
After the 200th take, now I can go home, have a cuppa, get in. Hey! I hope you guys enjoyed that little crossbar challenge video. I always put like weird icebreakers at the beginning just so I can suck you guys in. Yeah. So yeah, I know it's not my normal walk with me vlog. The weather hasn't been that great in London or anywhere in the UK, to be honest. So I thought I'd just do a quick video of what I wanted to talk about, and just talking about some of the discussions that I've been partaking in at places I've been invited to. At the University of Birmingham, I was invited to the Black History Month launch, hosted by the Black and Ethnic Minorities Association. Dope event. The event was quality. Really enjoyed it. And so yeah, the topic on the launch was, is 1 month enough? And as you can imagine, a lot of comments were raised about whether do we even need a month anymore. Or some other people said stuff like we should be celebrating Black history every day, and other really interesting points that were raised. People were talking about Black history in their education system. That was really good. And the angle that I was coming at it from is, well, look, Black History Month has been established for over 20 years in the UK, since 1987. So, you know, the month is here. You know, I don't think that we're going to stop Black History Month anytime soon. So my point was, how do we utilize and engage other communities in the Black History Month? In terms of, when I say engagement, I mean being at the forefront and spearheading projects, not just attending events, but being a part of Black History Month and putting events together. And I wanted to specifically focus on the Muslim communities, because I feel there has been a lack of engagement formally with Black History Month in terms of organising events and talking about and putting on projects, and most importantly, celebrating the history of Black Muslims and Muslims' contribution to Black history. And the reason why it kind of frustrates me that it doesn't exist is because there is so much that Muslims can talk about and educate people on when it comes to the history of Black Muslims. It is incredibly vast. I think even if we look at it now in 2014, where Muslims collectively around the world all know and love to praise Malcolm X, and rightly so, you would think that such a comment I'm about to mention by Betty Shabazz wouldn't be the case. Betty Shabazz, the wife of Malcolm X, had a conversation with Imam Zaid Shakir, and she said to Imam Zaid Shakir, the nationalists have claimed Malcolm, the socialists have claimed Malcolm, it's time for you Muslims to claim Malcolm. And for me, it was a real eye-opener because, you know, Muslims aren't doing enough to celebrate such amazing figures like Malcolm X. At a time like Black History Month would be an easy opportunity to do so. You have a month to talk about some famous Black Muslims, and surely you would want to utilize this time to celebrate Malcolm X. I'm going to elaborate even more. So that comment inspired me to, you know, when I was the Islamic Society president last year at my university, we collectively organized a kind of mini poster exhibition for Black History Month, and every week we had a feature individual of a story of a particular person from the Black Muslim community, both past and present. I overused the word historic, and we focused on many people. We focused on athletes. We focused on religious leaders. We focused on teachers and educators, and if they're the same thing. We spoke about athletes like Ibtihaj Muhammad in the US, who's a fencer, and not just the fact that there's not many Muslim women partaking in sports at such an international level, but she's also a black Muslim, so we should be celebrating and educating people about her achievements and what she has achieved, and she has achieved so much in actually a very short space of time. People like your obvious Muhammad Ali, your Mo Farahs, your Muhammad Farah, however you want to address him. People like Hamza and Hussein Abdullah, who are NFL stars, and a couple of years ago they took a break during the NFL season to go on Hajj. This is unheard of. Athletes taking a break to partake in what they feel is a religious obligation. And no, what is in Islam a religious obligation to complete Hajj once in your life. And they did this in the middle of a sports season. And the NFL career is very short. So I think it's incredibly amazing that they took such a passionate decision to make a very critical time. We can even go on to the most obvious, so we can elaborate more on the history of Malcolm X and how influential Malcolm X was for the movement of Muslims and black Muslims particularly. We can even talk about someone even more historic than that, the companion of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, Bilal ibn Rabah, may Allah be pleased with him, who was the first person to do the call to prayer. And if you think about it, the call to prayer is called out 5 times a day in every single mosque all around the world. In some cities, the call to prayer is heard out loud by 4 mosques in a town. And imagine that, imagine the image of Bilal ibn Rabah, may Allah be pleased with him, on top of the Kaaba in Mecca, calling the people to prayer is incredibly empowering for me anyway. We can talk about Nana Asma'u, a poet, a teacher, and a princess in Nigeria in the 18th century, who was also an advocate for women's education, and she pushed it and it was very successful. So people like her should be celebrated. We can even talk about Muslim leaders, former Muslim leaders anyway, like Imams, like Imam Siraj Wahhaj and Imam Zayd Shakir and many others who have done amazing things for their community. We should be celebrating these kind of people in black history and their contribution to Muslims, whether in their location or around the world. We can even talk about certain movements like the Bahia Muslim slave revolt in Brazil, and it's not just the fact that it was a slave revolt, but Islam was a unifying factor for the people who were revolted, for people leading the revolt. It was from Muslims who were from various backgrounds and they spoke many languages. Islam was the faith. Their faith inspired them to push forth with this idea of revolting. And we can even talk about people like Michael Jackson's brother, Jermaine Jackson, and how influential he is for black Muslims around the world. And I can go on and talk about so many figures and so many stories about how influential black Muslims have been to black history, and how influential they have been to da'wah, inviting people to Islam and teaching people about Islam. And I really feel that there isn't enough done from the Muslim communities to be engaged in this, or if there's even much done from other communities, which would be incredibly important to talk about. Even like a couple of years ago, a bit off the topic, I learned that there was a small black community in Pakistan, in and around Karachi. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. That's amazing. It would be great to know their story and the history of blacks in Pakistan. And so we can even go further than that and talk about the history of blacks in South America and in different parts of Asia, Australia, New Zealand. More communities, faith-based communities, or just organizations, charities, etc., should collectively be engaging in black history. I think we have a role to play as people in our communities and also leaders who should be spearheading projects at such an important time. And I really do make this plea for especially university Islamic societies where Muslim students have the freedom to really put on some really great events, and I've seen it over the years. You can. It would be great to see university Islamic societies collectively, or even representative Islamic society organizations to be inspiring and influencing Muslim students to be engaging in this sort of project. So that's it really. I thought this is quite something to talk about, seeing as is October. I know this video is quite late. I wish I'd done this in September. I wish I'd thought about speaking about this sooner. So yeah, let's get the discussion going. Hit some comments. If there's anything I've said wrong, correct me. I'm cool with it. If there's more stories of famous black Muslims and what they have achieved, and not just what they've achieved, but how things have changed in society, in the community, and stories of community groups on all sorts, please message me, comment below on YouTube or something. So yeah, peace.
Can he do it on a bigger stage? Let's go! For Queen, for Country Boy, come on, son! Is that got it? Did I get it?
It's not broad enough.
Not bad. Not half bad.
I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll take that.